For a time period that was so dark, like the 1940s, at the climax of the war, it's difficult to imagine that a composer could look within himself and find an optimistic point of view. While the symphony is dark in nature, with the way that Prokofiev writes it, there are so many moments where you find the secret message that is underneath that, to me, speaks of optimism. It starts actually with just a simple, beautiful melody. The tonality is open, it's optimistic, but at the same time the orchestration brings a lot of interesting questions. He's the composer that always writes for the extremes. So you hear the tuba begin from the depths of the musical line all the way underneath. And then on top of this, the piccolo joins. And for one measure, they actually perform the same notes at the same time, but many octaves apart. He was born in current-day Ukraine, then immigrating after the revolution of 1917 to the West. We come to the period in his time in the 30s when, because of the economic problems that the Western world was facing, Prokofiev's income had dried out. He eventually decides that he should move back to Russia. In the middle of these turbulent times in Europe, he found back in his motherland the promise of what he personally believed, which was the celebration of the human spirit. And in fact, he dedicates the symphony to this. The second movement is really remarkable. I remember hearing it for the first time, and it was so shocking to me because it's extremely fast, it's extremely virtuosic. There's a lot of folk-like melodies and rhythm in it. And in fact, there's this beautiful moment, again, an interplay between the tuba and the piccolo. Stravinsky, Shostakovich, Ravel, all these composers said that this was really the greatest music that was written at the time. The third movement, which begins with a murmuring in the strings. By the time the violins start this beautiful melody, they sing it, and then the piccolo emerges at the top again. A symphony that begins so beautifully melodic and then continues actually to explore this very optimistic way really turns on its own self by the time we arrive at the end. And this is really something that it's very rhythmically driven to finish in a way that it's almost a forced happiness. I understand a symphony that does celebrate the resilience of the human spirit. It is dedicated to the person. It is dedicated to our ability to overcome the darkness that exists in the world, especially at this time.